Good morning, everybody. And we're doing this one today on the episode from last week of Ghost Adventures that has Zach and the crew going to a town that is apparently being bedeviled. And obviously it is. It's just very strange to me that the boys did a great many things that were completely counterintuitive to hunting for anything that they normally would do. So I'm going to, instead of giving you my thoughts first, I'm going to let Joel give you his thoughts. And then we're going to discuss it from there because I'm pretty sure you're used to hearing me tell you everything that I saw. And I want to start this a little bit reversed. Go ahead, Joel.
Yeah, so I've seen that look before. Like, there's definitely like was something going on, but I've seen that look before on a few people when something is not right. When the actual person in the meat suit is in the passenger seat, not in the driver's seat. Um, so there was that issue. Or
Name
the
those people. Name those people that you've seen like that because I don't want it to only come from me.
well, I wasn't sure if we was throwing names down, like being uh, mainly, and a couple of people, Paul and his sister. There was that issue with his sister that they had that look, and then a couple of people I don't think that you know that I knew before I had met you that actually was like you could tell that there was something definitely wrong. Um, and then there was that one my one buddy who um, introduced me to the Gravilla Pools. Remember, I can't think of his name right now off the top of my head, but
Val.
um, oh, I forgot about her. Yeah, she
No,
did
not
have that
Valerie.
look.
Val, that guy that he actually was in one of my classes because he was
Huh?
held back a little.
No, not him. Not him. Um, you didn't get a chance to meet this. I think you might have met him, but I don't know if you guys like actually talk more than like a couple minutes. Um, but if we talk about technical stuff, um, wow, like the first time he saw somebody move out, we saw the figure. I'm surprised they didn't send a couple of people out there to investigate it right away instead of looking at the footage for a while and then sending somebody out. By that time, a person can like they can make it across a field in no time, you
And
know.
even though the people that were in that were looked really fat, they still had plenty of time to disappear. If it had been myself, I would have grabbed a flashlight, kept it off, held it at my hip level, and run. And if you think that I will run into anything, allow me to explain to you that I've actually ridden a bike with my eyes closed using only astral vision on a bicycle through the Boise Cascade Park. I will catch you. And so, so it would have been a simple matter to dash across the field after these two people that apparently were walking up to the church, if they were indeed people. Sorry, I just wanted to say that because they were humdy dumbing. There was plenty of time for any of us to be able to sprint out there after them.
Another thing with a place like that, I'm surprised they didn't have like some sort of perimeter cameras or some like stand cameras because I'm almost positive I remember them using something like that once before they was out in the wilderness. And that would have been good to do to set a perimeter to ensure that nobody was walking around their site. The other thing that I would have done is I would have definitely not gone to the um, Oregon Vortex until after the investigation, um, just because you've seen all the cars that was there, so obviously there was people around. Any one of those people could have been um, kind of overheard that they was going to go back that night to do an investigation. And since it is out in the wild, it's harder to secure a perimeter. They can had several people can contaminate the site without them wanting to. Um, just for the
And
sheer
the
fact,
reality
like
is
if you have been it.
they should have put up GoPro cameras at the corners of the camp to watch for people coming through, or they should have put up some kind of, yeah, like you were saying, perimeter camera. But I would have put trip lines, so that it would have set off like little alarms, so that you could hear, the little squawk boxes, so that if somebody walked across the surface they weren't supposed to cross past, then you would have known where they were breaking in from. This,
Mhm.
you would think, would be standard procedure, but the boys have absolutely no forest lore. They don't know what they're doing when they get outside of the city.
So yeah, but like I said, I thought for sure there was an episode where they actually had like some stand cameras, like some tree stand cameras out, and they caught some animals out and about one time.
Yeah, they
Um,
did. But this time around, for some reason, they left their
they didn't
brains in
do
their
it.
other shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
understand why they would not.
Well, the only thing I could think of is whatever was going on might have had them fairly distracted enough where they didn't, or because he had heard about the vortex and was kind of excited about the whole thing because like that's pretty exciting. Like if you get to the vortex and find a haunted area near a vortex, I'm sure I would geek out a little bit. Just
Now, for
because
me, I want to backtrack just a little bit to to back to the beginning of the episode. Zach goes and asks I think says he's an archbishop. Says, "How could you, a man of faith, be attacked?" And I just it was the scene from Naked Gun 33 and a third, where everybody's doing the face palm at the Oscars.
uh,
Uh, okay, I need to explain to everybody the basics of what we're doing. All right, you can have your faith, and it may be able to do some things, but faith is not going to replace ability. If something comes after you, unless you have the skills to defeat them, you're not going to be able to defeat them. A lot of the Christian trappings in the church, in the mysteries that they reproduce over and over again, are actually borrowed from other faiths, religions, and actions that are been learned, even from Arab uh, the Arab countries, nations, Persians, that had abilities to keep people safe. So they reproduce them without even knowing why anymore. But it comes back to the whole: there is no one size fits all, no one size fits most, no one size fits many. If they're using a hammer and it is not a nail, how effective is it going to be on plumbing? It simply isn't. And I understand a lot of you want to go on, well, my faith should be, as even Snoopy knows, life ain't a game of should haves. So the same follows for all of you. Plus, this archbishop, I don't know how effective he thinks he is, but the man has no aura upon which to draw anything from. Every time I see him, he literally has a low to no aura. And it's funny to me because these are the kind of people who, and I've said this in many videos, that are dead in the head, where they have a picture of the world, they have a picture of the afterlife or whatever in their head, and that is it. And they're following what they think is a blueprint for success, and it fails them because they don't have the, I guess we'd say, voltage to be able to back up what they want to do with it. Now, if the guy's been successful um, at exorcisms, then when he has been successful, it's been because he had the right tools at the right time by accident. Sort of like going someplace with the same tools in your bag, and they just happen to be the correct ones at the moment. And so he would have thought that means that they should work all the time. He just has to have more faith, more faith. It really, really doesn't work that way. I promise it doesn't work that way. And so he, his wife, the other lady, completely bear against these things. There's no, I'm going to put a cross on, it's going to save me. No. Even some of the stuff that we use doesn't always work. So why would it be that somebody who thinks I mean, this is like zenning your way through life, putting a paper bag over your head, and because I can't see the cars, I can just go walk across the 405 freeway and everything will be cool because I can't see them, they can't hit me. Believe me, it does not work that way. When we mention people that we know that have gotten hit like this or been done the look like, oh, you just got shoved into the passenger seat, your meat is mine, I'm going to take this out for a test drive. Yeah, we've known people. We've seen it happen. The same look, the same glary-eyed appearance, the same actions, and right down to my stomach. Why it's the stomach, I don't know. But believe me, it is common. My assumption is it has to do with the solar plexus chakra, because
that's exactly what it is. It's because it's close to the root chakra, and that's where kind of like where most people's is grounded to is there.
So anything that can attack you, will just go for it right there. It literally would just bam, 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 bam. And it's always the same sensation. Something akin between wanting to throw up, feeling like something's being pulled out of your stomach. And I mean, like, we're talking the alien chest burster, but coming out of your stomach. When Joel and I first started getting used to this kind of thing, if we would get an attack, it was a feeling like that, almost like being dropped off of an elevator. You know, you're in a roller coaster, but because our natural defenses are higher, we didn't get the, oh my God, it hurts, the clawing, the painful sensation. We just knew that something tried and made a pass at us, and it's like, oh boy. And so we knew that we needed to take more measures, or beef up the protection. But other people, because these things are going to go, well, we can't go after that other person. That the black guy over there, he's too tough, and the white guy next to him, no, we're going to get the other guy over there with diabetes. That's our friend Dean, by the way. He's a perfect target. I'm going to hit him and go to the body like Rocky Balboa. Bam, 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 bam. Next thing you know, Dean's on the ground. Or later on, he's got this look in his eyes like he wants to put, if he could, he would jam a shiv through my neck. Those were the fun ones. It's like we tell him, Dean, go home. No, I want to be here. It's like, I don't give a shit. You want to be here. Go home.
Yeah. Hello, Sonia.
Hey.
There she is.
So she took a little while to finish watching the episode. I can't wait to actually review the one from last night, which was the Ogden possession, because I haven't had a chance to see it either, because the description of the demon is the same one as Paul's mother was dealing with. So, which means we know its name. It's like this one always gets around and always does the same thing. It's always it's funny. Demons it's like they only have one job description. You go and fuck up relationships. You go and that's what they do. They've got a very small dossier of things they can do. But back to the demons in this episode, which was season 15, episode 1.
So can we talk about the chick that was with the archbishop's wife? I don't know if she's a Wiccan or what her deal was.
I didn't see anything about what she was talking about. If she's Wiccan, then she really needed to work on some of her. She wasn't wearing any of the trappings nor any of the protections. She was walking around bare, like, hit me, I dare you.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was going on with her. That was were kind of odd, but all three of them. I thought, I mean, uh, I like how they discuss some of that stuff off scene, and then they had to show us the video of like them discussing what happened before, like how she got mad at her friend that was crying because her friend was crying and was saying that she needs to leave. So some people that are slightly sensitive, when they feel an attack, they might have like ex, it might be expressed emotionally. I've seen that a lot actually, and Zach, like he was like, I'm gonna go over here. He was like, why? It's like he couldn't even fight that urge to go over there. It like he was just not there. Like,
And did you notice where he was drawn to?
yeah, he was drawn over to the
The church.
church. Yeah, where and it was interesting because the girls were there and that's where whatever the entity was wanted to be because it wanted it was looking for that confrontation. It was trying to, it tried really hard. I'm surprised that they didn't start fighting. And you can, and that kind of stuff happens in like relationship when you're dealing with things that are affecting relationships. I've seen that where it's draws to each other. So the two people will actually go at each other. It might not be physically, it might be emotionally, verbally, but they will actually work. That's like a good example of an entity causing problems with a relationship. That's how that kind of stuff happened. I think that was a good, I'm glad they got that on tape. Like, seriously.
One of the things that stood out in my mind was the fact that this thing did not, it made sure, just like any demon would, and we have dealt with with them dealing with demons before. It stayed off camera. It never
Yep.
passed near anything. It never let them get a shot. And it also was moving around in such a way that it managed to be able to affect all of them, mess with their lives, mess with their energy, mess with their sensibilities, smack them around, make them feel completely out of sorts. And whatever it was strong enough that poor Aaron, the most sensitive person in the group, just driving past the church, felt it.
Yeah.
Which you or I, if we just gotten into the area and we were maybe a mile from there, would have been going, yeah, there's something wrong here.
Yeah.
Way before we got to
So
the church.
now there was that one footage of the black mass, the shadow, that shadow mass going across the church floor, the pews, when they locked them, when they locked Aaron in. Like, all right, that was kind of messed up. He didn't want to be locked in, and I was like, no, we're not lock you in.
Yeah, we're not locking you in.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
yeah,
lockout here. We're just going to jam a stick through this thing because,
yeah,
yeah, you're our local resident red shirt. You're going to stay right there.
yeah. Another one of those demon tricks. I like that. I was like, goddamn, and this is where things go bad. uh, whatever that was floating across the floor. I have no explanation for that one.
Yeah, it wasn't a demon, whatever it was for sure, because it would be stupid enough to get itself caught on camera. Whatever it was either an energy sending or something that was summoned. And because, of course, the cameras are on infrared and low quality, can't really tell. Nothing below 720 really wants to impart much data, not enough to be able to catch. And poor Aaron wasn't even in the area. I mean, he was inside the building, but he wasn't even near it to be able to get an impression off of him, because he would have felt it if it was actually moving in his direction. All I know is that he knew that it was there because he's like, oh, look, a window's open. I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I'm with
didn't
him.
want to
It's like,
be
you
in
know,
it.
I got locked in. Yeah, screw you, Zach. You don't pay me enough for this. And out the window he goes. It's like, why did you let yourself out? It's like, why did you lock me in, you prick?
Yeah, yeah. That was in all, it was a pretty interesting episode.
Sonia, what are your thoughts on it? You got here a little late. You know, a lot of the times when I ask her a question, when I'm doing the updates for VidMe, I end up cutting out the long pauses between asking her a question and her answers.
Sorry, did you ask me something? Sorry, I had to just stay with Lucy for a second there.
Yes. What were your thoughts on the episode?
Well, all I kept on feeling is feeling really nauseous every time they went into the church. Like, literally, I was about to barf up my tea. Because obviously, with what time it is. But yeah, poor Erin, that was just stupid of them just to lock him in there. Yeah, we're not locking him there. It's kind of obvious he's your guinea pig.
Yeah.
But I would have done the exact same thing as him, as just, I'm going to climb out the open window, dumbasses.
I would have done one better. I would have done a Jonathan Panette. It's like, I'm not going to go through the door. I'm going to go through the wall. You're going to if I smell smoke, you're going to see me sprinting across the tarmac like a gazelle. People are going to want to go out the side I'm exiting through, because it's going to be a nice big opening.
Yeah,
but
right.
Well, realistically speaking, neither you nor I would have to run. But I want to address the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room about this episode was, and people are going to ask, was this a demon because Zach likes to invoke the, look, mama, it's a demon? Yes, this time around, this was a demon. Now, they were really bad at collecting any evidence this time around, so don't know how many there were, don't know where they were. All we do know is that they were trying to blame it on, no shit, pagans in the area. Because if you look it up, there are pagans in the area, and they love the earth. And apparently they had hung up some protective animus inside that place to try and drive off the evil. But supposedly, oh, it's evil. It's because the bat lands on it. Yeah, a bat is not an evil creature. It's a bat, okay? One of God's creations. And if it felt safer on one of those things, more power to it. This place was filled with all kinds of negative stuff. And I hate to be the one to bust everybody's bubble, but did you look at the guy who supposedly started this town? The guy's face says, either I ate a spoonful of shit before I sat down to take this picture, or I'm one evil son of a bitch. Just because he's a reverend or he wanted everybody to follow Christ doesn't mean crap. This guy just gave me, the pictures of him gave me the willies. And that town is a disaster because he made it so. The entire town, if there's any demon there, it's been there a long time. And it has everything to do with what this guy did with that town, truthfully. So blaming it on the pagans who are trying to push out using animus to get rid of evil is like blaming a firefighter when you come home because your house is on fire and they're trying to put out, oh, well, they must have lit the fire. That's not good logic, Zach Bagans. In fact, that's the exact opposite of logic. That's walking around high-stepping with your knees up in your own chin.
Really annoyed me.
That
was one of the parts of the episode that annoyed me.
Their negative bias to anybody who is not Christian is pissing me off. Okay, like all goodness only comes from Christianity. No. Okay, Christ never caused anybody's problems. His entire message was love. But people who want to pervert that for power will try and get between you and that love. Is the problem Christ? No. It's the person who says he's supposedly a Christian going, no, you're going to have to go through me. No, that's like the bouncer at the door that's like 7 foot tall and weighs 800 pounds, and he's got built like a gorilla, and if you want to get through the door, he's going to rip you limb from limb if he doesn't say it's okay. That's the problem. It's the bouncer at the door is the problem. There's not supposed to be any bouncer on the way towards religion. That's one of the things that Wiccans have been talking about forever. There's not supposed to be something between you and your deity. Thank you very much. And so blaming it on a nature loving religion that believes everything is sacred, especially in the forest, for problems inside of a stupid old town where it's infested with negative entities, and these guys are only recently arrived on the situation, is absolutely irresponsible yellow journalistic crap.
Yeah, that was one of the things that
Yep.
when I was watching, I was talking to my wife about. I was like, and look, let's blame all the Wiccans because that makes sense.
This
It
burn the witch
just
mentality has just chapped my ass. And the number of times that they've actually gone to Wiccans. Oh, this one's okay because she's a white witch. Moron. There's no such thing as white, black, green, purple, fuchsia, plaid, nothing. Okay? It's either one that's doing what they're supposed to and following the reed and the oath because they know that they don't want to have their life made more difficult by being a complete screwhead, or they're not. And you can get that in voodoo, thaumaturgy. You can get it in shamanism, and shamans, they pay a steeper price than anybody. They have the potential to end up being cursed forever, to be something hideous. Okay? So don't even get me started on how we know there is a negative potential to doing things wrong. They know it. They know it, and so they avoid it because, goddamn, who wants to be running around for eternity eating people that happen to straggle too far away from society because you're a skinwalker? Please grow up. These people know this sort of thing. Stop blaming the non-Christians for the issues that are being caused by these people who are not really practitioners of Christ. If Gandhi even said it, they asked him, "What do you think of Christians?" He says, on principle, I believe it is a very good idea. I wish Christians would try it once in a while." That's an epic burn, folks, because it's the truth. It's like, oh, look, Christ, his teachings, love, wrath, fire, flame, hate. Not his message. Truly.
Yeah.
And disliking something that is different because it has the same message and reasons is just irresponsible. I'm sorry, but it's true. I've been waiting to say this since the last couple of times they did this sort of thing. There is one time that we can definitely say the problem was caused by someone who is a practitioner who wanted to do things wrong. One time. And that was once again, that was also in Utah. What was it, Magna, Utah? The one where the lady summoned something to completely menace the family, and it was messing with their business. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one time in the entire, 15 seasons now? And
yeah,
it's more readily possible in Utah for reasons that it would make me really unpopular, pointing them out. So I avoid it. I'll avoid it as long as I can. One day, however many Mormon followers we have, we're probably going to lose because I'm going to tell you history that you never heard, don't want to know about. And let me put it to you this way. The first time we went into Utah, when Joel was taking me up to visit him when he lived in Idaho, I know the instant we crossed the border because I was dozing and I woke up, snapped, right? It's like I was awake. Because it felt like all of a sudden everything was wrong. And Joel asked me, "Are you okay?" I'm like, all of a sudden I feel like I'm watched, and at the same time everybody hates me. And it took a while before he realized, oh, we crossed the border into Utah. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. The next time, following year when we did it again, same situation. Only this time we were dealing with Top Hat Lurch. So it was kind of distracting. But there is something wrong with what has happened in that state. The last time I went there was to visit someone who was a friend. And as soon as I crossed the border, it was the same thing. The exact same feeling. Almost like being in a house, a haunted house, where the entity's going, "Get out!"
Yeah, I went to visit a buddy from the Air Force um, there in Ogden, I think it was, right out from the base, and it was like Village of the Damned. It was so weird. It was bizarre, very bizarre.
So
So
anyway, I'm sorry. I'm going to wrap this up because we're going to get off, and just want to make sure I keep this under 30 minutes for VidMe. The next episode is going to be about. It's going to be about the next episode of Ghost Adventures. Like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you hear. Please come over to vid.me and create an account. You'll be able to follow all of this and have all of our pared down content, so it's nice and clean, crisp, and added music. Thank you very much, and may you have a blessed day.